president of Y2 believes that this COVID-19 crisis will become an educational crisis. Minister of Justice says several measures have been taken to ensure the health of the community. But first up, Prime Minister gives an update of the scheduled flights at Princess Juliana International Airport. Those are the headlines for Wednesday, March the 18th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Now for the details. At the weekly Council of Ministers press briefing, which was held on Wednesday morning, March the 18th, 2020, Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs, as chairlady of the EOC, said that there were no updates as of yesterday. No new cases have been reported. Everything has stayed the same. She did, however, give an update of the scheduled flights at the Princess Juliana International Airport.
As I have yesterday updated both in an address as well as with a press conference of the EOC as to the latest updates where COVID-19 are concerned, I can say that at this moment that there are no new updates where that is concerned. We are basically at the same level as yesterday, the same, only one patient, and we continue to monitor. I would like to, however, update with the flights at the airports. I know you may have asked the Minister of TIAD already, our immigration officers, the decision we have taken to not allow any visitors at all at the moment, not from the region either, but only allow flights to come in that are taking passengers who had tickets or who had reservations and had arrived in the past couple of weeks out of St. Martin. We're also allowing passengers who transited through St. Martin to the surrounding islands, Sabre-Statia, Anguilla, and St. Bart's, to be able to come to St. Martin to catch those flights. So those flights will be continuing throughout the day and hopefully up until Sunday, after which we hope that we can then update to say that no more visitors and or St. Martiners will be allowed to come in, so that we can really say that we have contained our borders for the 2-week period while we assess and address any possible further positive cases to ensure that we can maintain them and keep them under our limit.
The Prime Minister also updated the press and the general public about the government administration as part of the EOC. Several measures have been taken to ensure that the general public is not hampered.
I would, however, like to update the general public that, as the Minister of ASR mentioned before me, the government administration, as part of the EOC, have taken several measures to ensure that as a critical and essential service, that the general public is not hampered. So while you may see today, thankfully, not a large crowd of persons waiting for service, as far as 2 days ago, they started a dry run at the civil registry and finance sections on the right, especially where it's much more crowded, to ensure that the social distancing would start to become a part of our normal behavior during this period. Many people, I realize, and I've heard of some horror stories in supermarkets, for instance, where some aware citizens have been asking their fellow citizens who are standing a bit too close to remember to distance ourselves for our own protection, and have been cursed out royally. This is not a measure that anyone can enforce on you in terms of arrest you if you do not keep a distance. But for the comfort of others and for the safety of others, we understand that so far we cannot say we have proven or disproven that it cannot be transferred by casual contact. Our previous cases that had passed through, let's say, Bobby's Marina to the airport have in the meantime recovered. It has been now, Friday coming will be exactly 3 weeks since that occurred, and we have not found anyone who have been in contact with those persons at the airport, at Bobby's Marina, in the shuttle that took them to the airport. None of the immigration officers have since then been contacted or contacted CPS or been positive for COVID-19. So in at least that, we can be assured that on our island, casual contact has not allowed you to have the disease or have the virus. So far, around the world, we are seeing it is being imported. So that is the main reason we are trying to stop the import of the virus, especially understanding that we have a minimal capacity. We have been taking many, many measures and made requests for the ability or to have the ability to expand our capacity to handle severe cases. But around the world, the first step that each person must take is to self-isolate. I want to reiterate self-isolation because some people may not understand what that means. If you are requested to self-isolate or mandated to self-isolate, you should remain at home. You should make arrangements with either family members or friends to do your errands for you. This is the only way to ensure. This could be that you have been in an area where the COVID-19 was a bit rampant, and especially all persons coming back to the island, especially from the last week up until now, we are asking you, please, if you have not yet started, please self-isolate. Stay at home. Already now, other businesses are closed, schools are closed, so it is even easier for us now to all adapt to the fact that we should stay as much as possible at home. Only essential and necessary movements should be made. So if you need to pay a bill or if you need to shop for groceries, get medication, visit the doctor, physical therapy, those types of activities are allowed.
And in this item out of Curaçao, Prime Minister Eugene Regenath has announced that during the press conference that the first confirmed case of coronavirus, COVID-18, that the 68-year-old man from the Netherlands has passed away in the hospital. The man arrived in Curaçao on Thursday, March the 5th. He became ill the following day and went into a self-imposed quarantine in his hotel room. The following week, he called a doctor and was immediately tested. His situation became worse and he was hospitalized. He had respiratory problems. And in other news at this time, Social Health Insurance's SZV would like to inform their insured of the following temporarily adjusted procedures that are in place to secure that health care services remain uninterrupted and available. To ensure a smooth service and response time, please follow the guidelines outlined. Patients do not come to SZV for their stamp. The treating physician will send the prescription to the necessary pharmacies or provider, such as Medic Cosmetics, via email, with the patient or with a companion if the patient is experiencing flu-like symptoms. If a prescription needs to be stamped, the pharmacy will email us for approval, SZV will respond digitally to the pharmacy. Where it regards authorizations of strip or lancet, AVBZ, patients do not come to SZV for their approvals or stamps. The treating physician will write a prescription for the medication, supplements, or medical aids and provide this to the necessary provider. The pharmacy, Medic Cosmetics, will then email SZV for authorization. Approvals will be given for 1 month. Paramedical referrals, which is physical therapy, speech therapy, or a dietitian, etc. This procedure does not change. Referrals for any paramedical healthcare provider should be submitted electronically as usual by the treating physician and will be processed accordingly. SZV will continue to update the public via their online channels and make sure to regularly check the latest information. Or you can go via Facebook Health Insurances. And still to come, leader of the PPA says that unemployment fund regulation is needed. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And as we continue now with more news, Minister of Justice, the Honorable Ekba Doran, touched on several topics during the weekly Council of Ministers press briefing on Wednesday. The minister said that several measures have been taken to ensure the health of the community, including the closure of businesses. The minister elaborated.
In order to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19 virus, several precautionary measures has been taken within the various departments of the justice. These measures were taken in the interest of the public order, peace, and security to safeguard the health of the general public and the civil servants that fall under these ministries. The Common Court of Justice only will be handling urgent cases. No public is allowed in these cases. The press is welcome, provided they meet the health criteria. The public is advised to go to the counter only for urgent matters, and all other matters should be addressed via telephone or email. In regards to the Point Blanche Prison, House of Detention, and Miss Lally Center, all visits to the inmates will be halted and alternatives will be put in place for inmates to be able to communicate with their relatives and their legal representatives. All non-urgent emergency visits will also be halted at this time. For more information, please contact the House of Detention. In regards to Immigration and Border Protection Services, no new permits will be issued at this time until further notice. This entails event permits, resident permits, landing permits, visa waivers, etc. Permits that have already been issued for scheduled events are hereby revoked with immediate effect. Requests for extension of stay will be handled by appointments only. The travel ban announced by the Prime Minister is in full effect for the residents of St. Martin that are allowed, and that is in full effect. Residents of St. Martin are allowed entry. A medical questionnaire is to be completed by these persons. In regards to the operation of businesses, it is decided that all non-essential businesses have to remain closed, among them restaurants, bars, with the exclusion of hotel bars and restaurants. Restaurants, pubs are hereby to operate only on a takeaway and delivery basis. As previously mentioned, these precautionary measures are in effort to help mitigate the exposure of the subsequently spreading the COVID-19 virus. The police will enforce these measures on a basis of zero tolerance. All instructions issued by police for executing and enforcing these measures should be strictly and immediately respected. Our police force is working in the interest of the public health and safety, and as such, the general public is advised to follow these orders. Non-compliance with these measures will be in violation of the General Police Ordinance and the Penal Code. A sanction policy will also be issued by the Public Prosecutor Office in regards to this zero tolerance policy. This sanction will be published at a later date. I wish all my people the best during this difficult period. I would also like to suggest a way to be found, especially for the elderly and the vulnerable, to be able to get their groceries and medication delivered to their homes. This causes less people to be on the road, less traffic, and less chances of contracting the virus.
Leader of the Progressive People's Alliance, Gracita Arundel, said that unemployment fund regulation is needed. Downtime, cleanups in Martin. It is logical that there is a socioeconomic fallout due to the COVID-19 virus. Not so long ago, wars fought in faraway spots had little or no effect on the daily lives of other nations, large or small. Terrorism, cybercrime, germ warfare is the new reality we face. These are man-made disasters. St. Martin has risen time and time again following many devastating natural disasters. We can use our collective experience in this regard once again to emerge healthier and stronger. Parliament can keep asking many questions. We need concrete actions now, according to the PPA leader. She says that we are once again faced with massive underemployment issues. Private organizations look at government for leadership and as a facilitator to mitigate the inevitable economic downturn. We can overcome this uncertain period short to midterm if we act now. Trust fund monies are used for all sorts of projects. Funds were rightfully invested in the one-time emergency income support and training project. It merits reactivating this program on a short term. A more sustainable and structural scheme or safety net is needed going forward to temporarily assist the expected large amount of layoffs. This is the unemployment fund regulation. To date, we still do not have it in place. We also do not have unemployment benefit support system. The scheme remains vacant under our present laws. Parliament must present, debate, and enact at least one initiative law by means of a short legislative SPOOT procedure process in consultation with labor unions and employer organizations. Following Hurricane Irma, we urged for an unemployment benefit law to be considered and introduced. This law will help mitigate the financial burden of businesses now and in the future, while keeping our fragile economy on the rail track, slower yet moving. Arundel continues that additionally, government must execute post-haste almost 3 years after Hurricane Irma devastated our island, the $15 to $25 million promised by previous governments never delivered trust fund, small business support. SABRE is an example how this much-needed aid to business on St. Martin can be provided fast and in a transparent manner. No need to reinvent the wheel. We can improve it. And turning to our weather forecast for March 18th, 2020, light to gentle winds will continue across the region due to a slight pressure gradient. Small pockets of low-level clouds could produce a few showers over the local area during the forecast period. Seas will remain slight to moderate through the next few days. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, President of Y2 believes that the COVID-19 crisis will become an educational crisis. I'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And as we continue now with the news, the decision by the Prime Minister to close all schools on Dutch St. Martin as of Wednesday, March 18, 2020, for a period of 2 weeks has caused the president of Y2, the Windward Islands Teachers Union, Mrs. Claire Elshot, to reach out to her members, the teachers and non-teaching staff of all schools, who expressed their concerns as educators on the health crisis caused by COVID-19. Mrs. Elshot says that Y2 learned of the decision taken by the Prime Minister to close all schools on Tuesday, March 17, 2020.
Issued the concerns in a press conference to the Minister of Education. I also sent a letter. But while preparing this press release, I noticed that a decision was taken. I learned of the decision in a live broadcast yesterday, the 17th, where the Prime Minister of St. Martin, Mrs. Silveria Jacob, issued then that all schools under Dutch St. Martin would be closed as of Wednesday, March the 18th, for the period of 2 weeks. Now, basically, now we are getting the effect of the teachers were then still summoned by the Minister of Education that they should be in school this morning from 7:30 and also for the next coming week. In addition to that, I am being told by the teachers that the Prime Minister then is now expressing that this week will be taken back from the Easter vacation. There are 2 weeks that the school will be closed. You're asking the teachers to come in for a week in schools to prepare whatever you deem is necessary. And then in addition to that, you are telling them that the vacation, the other week will be taken from the vacation. Well, I guess that our Prime Minister forgot that she was a teacher. And I guess that in her role as Prime Minister, she's totally forgotten that in her days as a teacher, this would not be taken lightly by the teachers. So here are we now with a number of teachers that are dissatisfied with this measure that has been taken. And this is unheard of, that you are going to, because of this pandemic, we have decided to close the schools for 2 weeks, but that one of the weeks will be strike out from the teachers' Easter vacation. This is something that the Windward Islands Teachers Union would be addressing, because already between yesterday and today, there were a number of teachers that call in, etc., and voice their dissatisfaction with that. Okay, now to the Minister of Education, Mr. Atwell Irion, we stress that occupational health and safety in the workplace should be checked and implemented. Why we say it should be checked? Because there are a number of things that have been indicated from the ongoing weeks, things that you should do. Simple things like hand washing, and also things like sanitary measures that should be taken. We know that in a number of schools, the lack of soap to wash your hands, the lack of different, vital products, whether it is because of financial constraints or whatever, even to toilet paper, hand wipes. Letters have gone out to parents for them to be able to provide this, but you also have parents that cannot.
Mrs. Elshad also said that her concern, of course, is that the ministry has been meeting with the OEC, etc., but at no time has the administration contacted them to give input about their concerns, to be able to provide their members with insights and recommendations, or to come up with appropriate responses to the pandemic in education. Mrs. Elshad believes that this crisis will become an educational crisis.
Now, our concern, of course, is also that the ministries, they have been meeting with OSC, etc., but at no time was the stakeholders in education contacted in these meetings, so that we could also be able to have our input and to be able to give information to our members, that our members do not see this crisis, and how you would say that they can be prepared to answer all the concerns of the parents. Okay, the way this is looking, it is looking at this health crisis is going to become an educational crisis, because we know that, for example, a lot of talk is being talked about technology and to have classes for distance learning, etc. But how well is this prepared here in St. Martin? And then you have the most vulnerable students they would be disproportionately affected by this school closure because many of them rely on meals. They also may not have access to online tools that would allow them to access distance learning or computer learning, etc. So what are we busy with? What are we pretending that we are doing? Today, all teachers report to come up with a plan, as the minister put it. They have to work out a plan. Which one of our teachers are experts in working out plans? They are experts as teachers, but if they are not included in certain, how you would say, their voices are not included in certain meetings so that they can also find out. Nobody came to them to say anything. It just happened from the Monday, Tuesday, all of them wondering, okay, but why is it still open? And then Tuesday, here comes the press briefing. 2 weeks, everybody's out. And these decisions that are affecting the larger group and the learning, these are decisions that are coming from a person that in our concept was a member of the Y2 and on the 4 line had a strong voice, was a teacher, and should know what it is to include people in social dialogue.
And in other news at this time, the managing board of NVGEBE hereby informs the general public with immediate effect that the Phillipsburg main office will only be allowing 5 persons into their payment section, which is the cashier area, for payments, and only 5 persons will be allowed in the customer care department. The Simpson Bay branch office will allow 5 persons in the building for payment of bills and customer care transactions. GEBE understands that this might cause a buildup of persons waiting on the outside. However, they take this time to apologize for the inconvenience that this may cause. All services at both of the branches will still be accessible, but with a scaled-down staff. They are encouraging you at this time to log on to their website for My Login, where you'll be able to access all of their online services, such as paying your bills online, request move-ins and move-outs, talk to their live chat agent. The dispatch center will remain open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. until further notice. They may be reached at 1-721-546-1100 or 546-1160 for emergencies. When calling, please have your bill on hand at all times with your meter, contract, account number. Should their office hours change, they will update you via their Facebook page and also via the media. And still to come, the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library closes its doors for 2 weeks. I'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns. And as we end this edition of the SXM Daily News, the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library has temporarily closed its doors as of Wednesday, March the 18th, 2020, until Wednesday, April the 1st, 2020. The decision was made by the board of the foundation in light of the announcement of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Sylvania Jacobs, on Tuesday, March the 17th, 2020, that schools will be closed for 2 weeks. As well as non-essential businesses, at this point in time, it is of great importance that we all consider a strict social distancing policy. Management and staff of the library apologizes for any inconvenience that this closure has caused. I am Valerie Van Putten. Just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.